Broncos Broncos plus 3.5 in Houston against CJ Stroud. 57% of the bets on the Texans, 65% of the money on the Texans, which has moved this line because I think it was 2.5 at a point. This is a tough one, Andy. This is a really tough one. I'm not saying I want to love the Broncos. I don't think I could play either side right now because the CJ Stroud factor is kind of unbelievable. But I can already see you gearing up to talk about how much you hate Russell Wilson or something.
No, this is, Lord forgive me for my sins. I love the Broncos here.
No way. I love it.
I do. I really do. They're one of the hottest teams right now, last 5, and I get it.
They are.
I've been saying play. Yeah, the quality play has been there. Their defense is clicking. Russell Wilson is starting to really figure it out. And he doesn't look like the Russell Wilson of old. He looks like the new age Russell Wilson, where he shows those flashes of old, but also is actually a lot more systematic, a lot more calculated. And I think that's what Sean Payton wants and like what he had to force, where the reason why I don't like Russell Wilson is because for so long he's just done his own thing. He was able to get by because he was that good of an athlete. He was that good of a football player and that creative of a quarterback that he was able to get by this last couple of years in Seattle. And then as things started turning down in Seattle, he entered up even more. He started talking more behind the mic to defend himself. He started doing all these things. And it's like, you need to actually just like play a real offense and not just like, oh, this didn't work out. Let me just scramble, run around until I can figure out something. That's not like a real offense. He had like 3 moves that he would do and pick from. That was why the whole Nathaniel Hackett thing didn't work last year, because Hackett wanted to install his offense. Russell Wilson was like, fuck you. And then they kicked him out. Sean Payton that's not going to fly. And we saw that butting of heads early on. We saw them not talk greatly about each other early on. And now that Russell Wilson has decided, all right, I need to suck it up or I'm going to lose my job, it's starting to work out again. Now, 134 passing yards last week against Cleveland is not what you want to see. But the Texans defense is not Cleveland, folks. It is not Cleveland. Is not. So I do like them in this spot. They looked you're not going to see huge numbers from him because they're able to get a lot of other things going. And I do think that this potentially, well, they're not going against a great defense here. So I think that total's fine. I'm probably not going to touch that. But, God, man, 3 and a hook. It's the CJ Stroud magic is still there. He's one of the best quarterbacks that was put in the MVP conversation for a reason. But I do think that the Texans are coming back down to earth a bit because they're playing a bit more of a difficult schedule than when they were on that run. We see it the last 2 weeks with them.
I mentioned it like earlier in the year, and it was kind of when things kind of turned around for the Texans was when, I forget what game it was, maybe week 7 or 8, where teams started to figure out CJ Stroud. And there was like a clicking of how much tape they had on him. And with the improvements that the Broncos defense has made, especially with what they've done on offense, I do like them as a dog here. I think getting CJ Stroud as a favorite has been bad all year. He's 0-4 or 1-5 or something like that when he's a favorite this season. So yes, I'm not taking anything away from how great he's been. Like
0-3.
I think he had
0-3.
0-3. Yeah. So 0-3 is a favorite. So
on the spread.
Yes. He has great throws and makes really good decisions. There's so many times where I'm watching Texans games where I'm like, how the hell did he just get out of that? Or like, what kind of throw is that? However, the issue with the Texans is their defense. Like they can't hold anyone to anything. And if you look at their last several games, they let up 24 to the division rivals, couldn't win. 16 to the Cardinals, it is what it is. 27 to the Bengals, 37 to the Bucks. And then I won't even talk about the Panthers because it's the fucking Panthers, but just not great. And then you look at the Broncos, the last 5, they won and covered against the Packers, won and covered against the Chiefs, won and covered against the Bills, beat the Vikings, didn't cover based on a 2-point conversion that didn't happen, won and covered against the Browns. It's just 2 different directions for either team. And like you said, with the coaching, I can't get behind, the DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud show because they have to do a lot to overcome better coaching and better quarterback play. Not to say that Russ is better than CJ Stroud, but the veteranship that is him and Peyton.
Yeah. I mean, I think CJ Stroud is leaps and bounds better than Russ. I think that the Broncos defense has been the difference maker for them, and that like Russ is doing enough to get by and has looked good doing it. And actually, I misspoke. You were correct initially. Stroud's 0-4 as a favorite
because
on the spread.
They just didn't cover the last game. Those most recent. Yeah.
Yes. So, or no, the one before that against the Cardinals, they closed at minus 5.5, and they won by 5.
Bullshit.
The Broncos ATS stuff is very fascinating to me because they started 0-6 ATS this season, but they've since turned it around where they are now 4-1 in the last 5 ATS, and that's what really gets me excited for this spot for them at plus 3.5. Even though the total's a bit higher, I do think that is going to be a grinded out game where, to your point about veteranship, you will see CJ Stroud tested here against what has been a pretty strong defense.
The last thing I'll say about this game, I keep saying it that I want to talk about like the public betting specific teams more, and as we go through this, I should. So kind of remind me, Andy, as we do this. But the Broncos are 0-4 when the public backs them. The public is not backing them this game. And the Broncos are 4-6 ATS. So just keep that in mind. You know, the public is 4-2 when they don't back the Broncos. So, I'm sorry, the Broncos are 4-2 ATS when they're not backed by the public, I should say. So, indication to back the Broncos here, because clearly the public cannot read the Broncos, and they probably haven't done that all season or even last season. So, more reason to back them.
DJ, any words of wisdom to the crowd before we depart?
Absolutely. Appreciate all your guys' support as always. Keep checking out the channel on YouTube. Just got my Spotify wrapped for the podcast. I'm excited to post some stuff on that. So check that out on my Twitter at DJJ Sports. Sincerely appreciate all the love despite a bad week from me. Happy to keep giving out trends. Happy to talk about football. It's always so much fun. Love you guys. Love the support. Again, check us out on YouTube.
Well, cheers, dude. I think this is going to be an awesome slate. I can't wait to watch it. We will definitely be sending you pictures as well as tweeting out pictures from Lambeau Field. Super excited for this weekend. And be on the lookout for DJ's article that always comes out on Sunday. It is a banger. It's a classic. Reddit begs him for it every single week. And look out for some plays from me as I tweet them out at Andy HA Sports on Twitter. Make sure to give Deej a follow. The creator, the wizard himself behind Sharpen the Public at DJH Sports. Guys, we love you. Happy we can do this.
Love the subscribers. Love the comments. Appreciate it all. As always, we'll be with you next time. Hopefully, we win some bets this week.
With some winners. It's a bounce back week, baby. Week 13. 13 is my lucky number. Let's go. The boys bet better with beer.